Good afternoon. Welcome to the VRO. We have Bryton James here, and I'm Jess from the VRO. Obviously, we've got Amy here, and my husband Travis is going to do some pictures for us today. So, Bryton, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely.
How are you enjoying the convention?
I'm loving it. I'm having a great time.
Are you?
The fans are incredible.
I know you do probably the soap opera conventions a lot. Is this your first your first time doing a Vampire Diaries one?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is my first Vampire Diaries.
So, how do the fans differ?
The fans, there's not that big of a difference because soap opera fans, they know inside and out everything. I think the only difference here is with the soap opera, there's 30 some odd years of history that they know about that I don't even know about.
Yeah.
And with this show, you know, it's in its third season, so it's still pretty new. So yeah, maybe the age range probably of the soap opera fans extends a little bit.
Yeah, I can honestly say I'm a Young and the Restless fan.
Are you?
So yeah, and I mean it hooks you in for sure. So you do a great job with the character, and I know we're really supposed to talk Vampire Diaries, but I have to throw it in there. So how hard is it to play when you're supposed to have the hearing disability? And I guess now it's not so hard because you have the hearing aid and you can hear. But I mean, with Devon being a musical character as well, I mean.
Yeah. Well, there's little things that you have to remember. For instance, when either when someone's speaking to me or when I'm using a phone, I have to only use it on the side with the implant because technically I'm still deaf in this ear.
Right.
So, you know, I'm sure that, I don't know if fans notice that. You know, I mean, if I ever use the phone on this ear, it probably would get a bunch of messages on the message board. But before I had the implant, I wanted to do something where, you know, if I could wear something in my ears where, you know, make it harder for me to hear. But there really wasn't anything practical like that. So I mean, it was just getting used to ignoring everyone and everything I heard until people got my attention. You know, trying to make it real as could be. And we had to learn sign language. I mean, I didn't have to learn it, but I did with the rest of the cast, just so, you know, we had a coach who would come in the morning of every day before taping. They'd go over all of our scenes, and so everyone would be learning their lines and learning all the new sign language for the dialogue. So
see, that's kind of crazy. Was that hard to do since you had to kind of do both? I mean,
for the actors who, I mean, for it was Victoria Rao and Christoph who really had to do most of it.
Right.
And it was I don't know how they did it. I mean, because they did it well too.
Right.
In a very short amount of time, and had to make it believable on camera that they were learning it at that pace too, which is, you know, a bit unbelievable, but it turned out well.
Well, how does it differ filming a soap opera versus a television show like The Vampire Diaries, where I think it's a little bit faster paced for the soap opera world, right?
Absolutely, it's the biggest difference in the world. When I, even from doing Family Matters to Young and the Restless, it was almost like exactly the same thing. Only more dialogue, more things to learn, because it was shot multiple cameras, you know, all out there, get the three walls, and you know, you do a scene in a take. And that's it. We do an hour episode in a day on the soap opera, literally, and 5 days a week. You know, 30-something scenes a day. And Vampire Diaries, you know, you have to do the scene with your shot, then the scene with their shot, then the wide shot, then, you know, if there's special effects, you know, all that. There's so much that goes into every scene, and you have so much time in between, you know, and you have a lot of time to learn lines. And that was a great thing, you know, coming from YNR, learning lines from Vampire was a piece of cake, except for the chanting for me.
And that's got to be hard, the chanting, because I mean, it never really sounds like it makes any sense. Let's be honest.
It really doesn't. But that one scene they had on the roof with Kat, where we were chanting, it was the most difficult thing I've ever done. And memorizing has never been an issue for me my whole life.
Yeah.
And that I really should have spent way more time on, because both of us were having a difficult time.
The thing is, though, when you do the chanting and you have to learn those weird lines like that, if you mess up a little bit, do they like get on you? I mean, is there like a set reason, or is it like, okay, well, that's close enough because of what you're doing, or it really still needs to sound
pronunciation, I mean, it can vary in how you're saying the lines, but they...
I'm so sorry. It's okay. It's Kat's fault.
Cat. Cat's water. Sorry, but they do like you to stick to, you know, what's on the paper. So we would be doing the chant, and you know, we would start it together, and then we could tell one of us would kind of lag behind to wait to hear what the other one said so we could get the lines right. It was, yeah, it's difficult.
Well, we live in Covington. We actually watched y'all film the big scene on the roof.
I heard, yeah.
So the sparks and stuff, that was pretty neat.
That was great, yeah.
Y'all don't really do that in the soap opera world, right? You don't do all the special effects on the set. So.
No, not at all. Doing that was a huge difference. Also, even the scene when we made the wind blow.
Right.
I was talking about it a little bit yesterday. There's, you know, these giant fans, you know, all around, probably like 5 of them, and the amount of times, the amount of takes you have to do, you know, and reset all the papers and the leaves and everything. I mean, there's so much that goes into it that it's you really you take for granted the pace of doing a show.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Do you still watch the show, first of all, since you're not on it?
I haven't watched it like I did before,
right.
But I've been trying to catch things here. Yeah.
Well, this Thursday night's episode was actually a lot of ghost infused from all the people that have died. So, where were you?
Where was I? Right.
Let's start that campaign.
I mean,
that's what I'm wondering, and I think the fans should.
I think we're pretty upset about that.
Did you hear
No,
that?
I haven't. You know, no one said anything to me. I've just been hearing that these ghosts are coming back and stuff. So, I'd love to be back.
Okay.
They want me back.
Yeah, that was the question. All right. A few fun questions. What's your favorite song?
What's my favorite song? It's a song called "Who Is It" by Michael Jackson.
Okay.
It's on the Dangerous album.
All right. And, we're wondering, since you have your soap opera family and you have your Vampire Diaries family, what's your craziest fan encounter?
Craziest fan. I'm lucky. I haven't had like a really crazy fan.
Nobody's asked you for a love spell or anything?
No, I guess I haven't. No, I maybe I haven't done enough of these. The weekend's not over though.
That's right.
So
I'll whisper in somebody's ear. The question of the night is a love spell. So.
I might have a new answer. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And you got to work really closely with Kat Graham. She's a good friend of mine. So, what can you tell us? The best thing about Kat?
The best thing about Kat is personally.
Mind you, she's here, so we're going to tell on.
Exactly.
No, the best thing about Kat is personally, we got to hang out, you know, a lot, you know, off camera because there was a lot of downtime when your scenes aren't up. You know, you have days that go by, and you know, it's my first time out here, and we would hang out, and just the kind of person she is. She's so nice. She's such a sweet, kind person, and to fans, to everyone. I mean, she treats everybody, you know, the way that she would want to be treated, and that's what I admire most about her. And she's an amazing actress too. She was great to work with.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, do you do anything musically as well? Because I think you do, right?
I do. Yeah, I haven't in a while. But when I ended Family Matters a few years afterwards, I was about 12, 13 years old. I went to Germany and signed with Universal and released a single and toured around.
That's awesome.
Trying my feet in music a little bit.
Are you going to go back to doing the musical stuff, or are you happy with what you're doing?
I'm happy with what I'm doing right now. To do music the way I want to, I mean, you really have to give a lot of time to it. And if you want to be serious about it and make a living at it, it has to be your life.
Yeah.
A lot of traveling, a lot of emotion, performing, and things like that. And my main love for it is the performing part. It's the being on stage. You know, everything that goes along with it. It's not as appealing to me as what goes into acting, because I love every part of acting. I love the beginning, middle, and end of it. So for right now, I mean, in the future, I think I might try at it again.
Okay.
For now.
Well, we appreciate you giving us 10 minutes today.
I appreciate you guys.